Welcome back, Year 4. This week we've been learning and continuing our learning on multiplication and division. And I thought I would recap over something that is very important to do with multiplication, and that is factors. A factor is one of two or more numbers that divides a given number without a remainder. So as you can see on the screen below, you have the example of the factors of 8. They are 1, 2, 4 and 8, because we know that 1 times 8 equals 8, but also 2 times 4 equals 8. So that means that 8 has 4 factors. Now, really importantly, when we're trying to work out the factors of a number, we need to work it out in a systematic and logical approach, ensuring that we find all of the factors of that number. Otherwise, it can get tricky and numbers can be missed. Here are the factors of 32. As you can see, I've laid it out using a table, and the table shows the different factors. 1 times 32 equals 32, so 1 and 32 are factors of 32. We've got 2 and 16, 4 and 8. These are all the factors of 32, and by using my systematic approach, it made it easier to work out all of the factors of 32. Why not have a go at finding the factors of 48 and 28? Are there any factors that are the same? Maybe you may notice certain factors that appear when it is an odd number. Maybe certain factors that may appear when it's an even number. Have a see. See if you can see any rules. For example, if it was a number ending in 5 or 0, we would know that 5 would definitely be a factor because numbers in the 5 times table either end in a 5 or a 0. Multiples are also very important. A multiple is a number that can be divided by another number or certain number of times without a remainder. So the multiples of 5 are all the numbers in the 5 times table, such as 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. Sometimes you may come across the word common multiples. If we have common multiples, they are numbers that appear both in 2 times, it could be the 2 times table, and also the 5 times table. So if we look at that more closely, if I was to write out the 2 times table, we know that the 2 times table goes up in 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then to work out the multiples, I can then work out the multiples then of the 5 times table. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. They're my first few multiples of the 2 times. And I go write the multiples of the 5 times also. Now I can see that there is one common multiple that I've drawn, 10. Now, you may be able to spot a pattern and work out what the next common multiple between the 2 and the 5 times table is. What do you think it could be? In English, we've been thinking about finding evidence to support our answers in a text. And when answering a question, we've been using PEE, point, making our point, evidence, supporting our point with the evidence in the text, and then explaining our answer once we have found our evidence. Here we have an example of a question. What evidence in the text shows that Bartholomew is clumsy? If you remember, this is the beginning of Beetle Boy, that first initial sentences that we find out a bit about Dr. Bartholomew Cuttle. And we find out that he gets a fried egg stuck in his beard. He's a man that loses his keys. He never takes an umbrella on a rainy day. He always picks up his child at darkest 5 minutes late from school, but he always makes sure he comes. And he was someone that always liked to read enormous old books. So what in the text shows that he is clumsy? Well, I would say the factor that he gets fried eggs stuck in his beard is quite clumsy. That he also loses his keys. And also quite clumsy that he never took his umbrella on rainy days. A few things that prove and give that evidence in the text. So, I'm going to make my point first. Bartholomew is a clumsy character. There's my point, saying what I think about how Bartholomew is. In the text, it says, he is a kind of man who always lost his keys and never took an umbrella on rainy days. This shows that Bartholomew is not very organised and misplaces items he owns, answering the question and proving why he is clumsy.